let me give you a couple of softballs first, Michael. Is RPI a four-year school?
It's actually a 5-year program, Chris.
Are they accredited?
They are.
Of all the quotations you received in that wonderful article in the Business Review, which is your favorite?
I don't know. There's too many to really count. You know.
So not mine.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah. And what did I say?
You said I was a dedicated member of the community and family man and a supporter of AIM.
And I meant that genuinely.
Yeah, thank
It's not just the partnership between Phinney and AIM, it's our friendship and the fact that you resonate with so many people in the community. Big jobs, small jobs, jobs that involve design, jobs that involve interaction with the community. You're always present in a meaningful and impactful way, which is great.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I want to get to some AIM questions
Sure.
about your connection with AIM, with June, with myself, our friendship that's 15 years now. Talk a little bit about your first connection with AIM. I know we've been a special not-for-profit in your mind for many, many years. You've supported us outside the partnership, the formal partnership between AIM and Phinney Design. But what captured your imagination about us?
Well, I have to, it goes all the way back to, I think it was Mike Ingersoll at LA Group. He called me up and he's like, hey, Mike, if you know Mike, he's a former mentor of mine and kind of
Great guy.
Good guy. Gave me a lot of advice over the years. And he called me up and said, hey, I think I might have a project for you. AIM services and trying to find him a piece of property. We think we might have found him a piece of property. And he said, can you go to a meeting and look at their existing space? And I said, sure. So we go down to the original space. Yeah. And we go back in there, and I'm walking around, and I'm learning. Of course, I'm researching what AIM did, and I have some background information when I show up, and and obviously
they must be testing laboratory animals back here.
Yes, so it was literally a mice maze, right? It was just like
I remember it well.
Such a crazy, almost borderline hoarder house.
Yeah,
right.
It was a dark, mostly
we were
dark
so
space.
packed in, and it was just furniture had been donated over time, so there was no really tough work environment. Let's just put it that way. And I just immediately I'm like, I can't believe how dedicated these people are that have started this from grassroots and are doing what they're doing, and they're doing that out of this space, right? And so, I immediately I'm like, and they're gonna go to a piece of property that's kind of like a flat field, rural setting and clean slate, and right away I was like, I'm like, this is exciting, because that's what really gets us excited as architects, especially at Phinney Design Group. Anybody who stays in the profession long term, in the traditional design sense, I think has this in common, which is the number one motivating factor why they're in it is because they care about that creative opportunity and creative process that they can change someone's life or better someone's life or better the world or the city or whatever it is in some way, and then they see the effect of that and how it affects people, society, whatever, and it's a very rewarding thing. I'm blessed enough in my life now where we turn away a lot of work, but if I see an opportunity where wow, we can really make a big difference here and help someone out, and we'll get paid to do it, and I can pay bills and pay staff, but wow, that's really exciting, and so that I definitely had that moment immediately. I'm like, oh my God, we got to help these people, and so that was kind of my first introduction, and then we got hired, we interviewed and got hired, and started working with the staff and getting into okay, what is it you do? 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 And then just learned a tremendous amount of what you guys do, which is really unbelievable. You have to have financial experts, you have to have organizational experts, you have to have people experts, you have to have medical experts, you have to have all of this expertise, and they all have to be able to communicate with each other to do what you do.
Well, changing lives through design is no more evident than at AIM and what you did with our building and our expansion. because we've grown so much, and,
Yeah.
and we consider ourselves very much a person-centered operation where we start with the people we support and everything else follows from that. This space has inspired our staff to bring their best every day. I hear every day a visitor come and say, wow, this is amazing space.
When we were hired to do the first phase, we thought about if this, you and June and the team here had the vision that, hey, if this does what we want it to do, we're gonna need more space, which is pretty amazing, right? Considering where you were coming from. You had that vision already, like, look, we're gonna go do this, and I think we're gonna be able to do it, and if so, then we're gonna need this too. And sure enough, that's what happened. And it happened faster than we thought, right? It was like 6 years, 5 years maybe.
Well,
right?
we had help from our friends.
Right. And so, so it just was a pretty cool experience to do that.
Tell me a little bit about your engagement with AIM. I know you go to all our events, you support. Phinney Design is a major sponsor of AIM. And it's so important because we have so many underfunded or unfunded things. We never say no, we always say how here. So if somebody wants to do something and their Medicaid dollars or their reimbursement dollars aren't going to cover it, we make sure that those dreams come true, whether it's vacation or Taekwondo classes or whatever anybody wants to do, they can through the largesse and generosity of folks like you at Phinney Design. But I know you like our events. And it's always a joy when you show as well. People love to see you and connect with you. You're incredibly personable, which puts people at ease when you're doing design. But we do appreciate the fact that you come to our events. At Carnival, we have some pretty incriminating photographs of you from
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the heart glasses, sunglasses.
Yep. With the beads.
Yeah.
Yep.
And on the floor.
With the John Travolta pose.
Yeah.
You got that one?
Well, you were just staying alive. What can we say?
Hey, people, I had to get the party going,
The only thing I appreciate more than your immense talent and how it's contributed to AIM and its success is our friendship. And I know that Phinney Design will continue to be an immense, impactful community member. You're going to make a big difference with a lot of people. And I know growth is in your future, but more importantly to us, you'll continue to support us and what we do. All the people that we support, I've often said the greatest thing you can do with your life is make a difference in someone else's. And because of you being present for us, we're able to do that every day. Wish you great success. I hope you win the croquet this.
Yeah, me too. We gotta get our title back.
Yeah. It'll happen. Yeah. So I know you're very influential, not just in your business, but through your connections in the community. There's a lot of businesses out there. I'm on the chamber board. We're constantly engaging the business for-profit sector with the impact sector and the not-for-profit sector because we're an economic driver in our own. What would you say to some businesses that are looking to engage to be more impactful in the community for the return on investment for their business, but for also a sense of community?
Yeah, I mean, we've been blessed to be, what I guess people would say successful or whatnot, but and have organically grown. And I kind of made a promise to myself that I would always give a certain percentage every year to local charities, but also to try to spread it around, right? And then as you go through life and you experience different things and family members experience different things, then certain things become even more meaningful to you, right? That you relate to it more. But I also, have had really a blessing to be hired by a lot of different non-for-profits or different organizations. Yaddle's one of them, and others like that, and of course AIM, and you say, okay, the client's been good to me, and they believed in me and hired my company and supported us, and I feel strongly that should be cyclical, right? That we should try to get back, and I think that's just a good business decision, but also. You get to know your clients, you get to know their mission, you get to know their people, you get to know what they do, and so you can't help but try to support it, right? And I think that everybody has a different why, but I do think that I had a really good friend of mine recently who I hadn't seen him very much, but he just was home visit. He's born and raised in Saratoga. He's home he lives in Hawaii. And we were having a conversation just sort of about business in general. And he says, Jesus, man, last time I was here, and he's like, I'm asking people around you, you're like a superstar, And I'm like, no. He's like, and he's being complimentary. He's like, how did that all happen, and what was your path? And we were talking relationship. He was asking for business advice for the the coffee stuff, and him and his girlfriend were kind of saying it's almost like a Hawaiian cultural thing that if you give, it will come back to you threefold, right? And so it's a spiritual thing that the culture believes in very strongly, and it hit home with me because it's something I think my mother ingrained in me. She's a very, very spiritual woman, and it was always like, do good and you'll receive good, and I do think that it's true in business. I never give with a motive, right? So if you give with a motive, different, right? If you say, hey, we're going to give this much each year, and I want to try to help a lot of different things out, and that feels good by itself, and I don't. If it comes back to me, great, but I'll say it's come back to me definitely, for sure.
You've built an awful lot of goodwill with the not-for-profits in the area, and you've created a culture of service at your company. So the synergy between the two has really benefited us, but as you said, has come back to you threefold, which I'm so very happy to hear, because you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve recognition. I know you don't seek it, but you should know that you've made a huge difference, and we love you, and we very much appreciate everything you've done for us. Thanks for spending some time.
You're very welcome, Chris.
Stay out of jail.
I'll try.